Tonight we explore the profound journey of a thinker often shrouded in existential reflection, Emil Cioran. Take a moment to like this video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely find value in these philosophical journeys. Let me know in the comments where you're joining us from and what time it is for you. Now dim the lights, perhaps light a candle, and let's ease into tonight's philosophical journey together. In 1937, Emil Cioran moved to Paris, marking the beginning of his permanent residence in philosophical seclusion. Let us journey back to his formative years in the small village of Rășinari, nestled amidst the tranquil spaces of Transylvania, where the air is perfumed with pine and silence. Here he was surrounded by the solemn cadence of religious rituals, as his father was an Orthodox priest. This setting, deeply spiritual yet brimming with unspoken questions, stirred within young Cioran a silent rebellion against the comforting narratives of faith. In this cradle of spirituality, facing the icons and listening to the chants, Cioran's mind began to question. He wondered about the validity of these beliefs, and this skepticism laid the bedrock for his later philosophical musings, a skepticism that would transform into profound pessimism. As we ponder Cioran's early rejection of traditional beliefs, let us consider the wider implications of early religious indoctrination. For Cioran, and perhaps for many among us, this early exposure did not offer solace, but instead opened a cascade of questions about suffering, about the nature of existence, and the silence of the divine. It is in this questioning that Cioran finds resonance with modern existential inquiries, drawing a line from the introspections of a young Romanian boy to the universal dilemmas of mankind. And so, we can gently turn our attention to our own lives. Reflect on the roles that early experiences have played in shaping your philosophical outlook. Are there beliefs once passed down to you that you now question? In embracing our introspective journeys, much like Cioran's life invites us to do, we stand at the crossroads of tradition and doubt. Let these thoughts linger as we conclude this segment, allowing the mind to settle into a peaceful contemplation, ready to unravel further mysteries together in the upcoming parts of our exploration. What if insomnia was not just sleeplessness, but a doorway to deeper understanding? For Cioran, this persistent scourge became more than a mere condition. It metamorphosed into a relentless muse, shaping the sinews of his existential thoughts. He grappled with insomnia from an early age, which served as a constant companion through the stillness of the night, as he began writing his first book, On the Heights of Despair. This was not a mere quirk of his biology, but a profound reflection of his inner turmoil. In those silent hours, Cioran discovered a unique perspective, a lens through which the arbitrary nature of existence became distressingly clear. His insomnia became emblematic of the restless search for meaning in a world that seemed both chaotic and indifferent. It was during these nights that he delved deep into the nature of suffering and the absurdity of life, themes that would persist throughout his philosophical career. Like whispers echoing in the void, the thoughts born of sleepless nights propelled Cioran towards an existential vision filled with both despair and profound insight. We might find inspiration in Cioran's nocturnal reflections ourselves. Insomnia, when approached through a philosophical lens, asks us to confront our own restless moments, those nights where sleep evades us, and use them as an opportunity for contemplation. Consider this. What if our sleepless nights were also doors to our deeper truths? Just as Cioran translated despair into insight, we too can transform our unrest into a profound exploration of our personal questions and uncertainties. And so, as we let these ideas gently settle, we come to see insomnia not just as a source of turmoil, but as a crucible for philosophical growth. Cioran teaches us that perhaps the most profound insights arise not amid comfort and ease, but during those lonely hours of wakefulness. Let this thought linger softly as we prepare to journey further into Cioran's philosophical landscapes, discovering that from the depths of night emerge the seeds of understanding. May this realization be a gentle whisper for your own introspection. In Bucharest, Cioran met influential thinkers like Eugen Ionescu and Mircea Eliade, fostering his development as a philosopher amidst vibrant intellectual circles. Imagine, dear listener, the young Cioran strolling through the streets of Bucharest, a city humming with ideas and discussions that seeped into cafes and classrooms alike. It was here that Cioran began to grapple more deeply with existential themes, trying to untangle the threads of suffering and nihilism that seemed to weave through his every thought. These connections were not just incidental, they were essential. Each conversation with Ionescu and Eliade was like a spark, igniting new pathways in Cioran's philosophical exploration. As these ideas collided and coalesced, Cioran found himself revisiting the profound skepticism seeded in his youth, looking for companionship in comprehending life's apparent absurdity. Such moments remind us how the meeting of minds can profoundly shape our intellectual directions. Let us consider how modern-day communities can serve a similar purpose, offering us spaces to question and wonder aloud. And so, we can gently turn our attention to the wider implications of these formative years. By connecting with peers, even skeptics of traditional narratives can find solidarity and challenge their own perspectives. Consider how, in our contemporary setting, intellectual kinship allows us to grapple with philosophical dilemmas, offering not just answers, but companionship in the quest for understanding. Just as Cioran found resonance with Ionescu and Eliade, we too might identify our own intellectual allies who help illuminate the path ahead. Reflecting on Cioran's Bucharest years encourages us to seek out our intellectual community, for even in skepticism, there is kinship. Life's most profound questions often find illumination not in solitude, but in dialogue. As you ponder your own philosophical journey, may you find comfort in the idea that seeking, questioning, and exploring in the community unfurls pathways of understanding as expansive and rich as those Cioran himself trod. Let the thought of connection rest quietly with you, as the curtain gently falls on this segment, setting the stage for our next exploration. As Emil Cioran wandered through the streets of Berlin during his formative years, he was caught within a maelstrom of powerful ideas and searching philosophies. He immersed himself in the philosophical landscapes laid by giants like Nietzsche and Schopenhauer. In this vibrant yet volatile intellectual terrain, Cioran faced a profound moral and intellectual struggle. Nietzsche had once announced the death of God, presenting a world unmoored from its ethical foundations, and proposed a new framework of values centered on human creativity and power, the will to power. Meanwhile, Schopenhauer offered a metaphysic bathed in pessimism, where existence was driven by a blind and insatiable will, divorced from reason or happiness. Cioran, standing at this crossroads of thought, found himself temporarily drawn to the siren call of fascist ideology, a path echoing the will to power, but one which he eventually recognized as deeply flawed and rejected. This encounter underscored the vulnerabilities that lurk within even the most ardent intellectual explorations, a reminder of how passionately held beliefs can sometimes eclipse the moral compass. Cioran's eventual repudiation of these ideas marked a commitment to skepticism, and an enlightenment found not in grand systems, but in the solitude of individual despair, a theme profoundly explored by Schopenhauer. By confronting his ideological flirtations and emerging more skeptical, Cioran illustrates how introspection can serve as a lighthouse in the turbulent seas of philosophy. In understanding Cioran's academic pilgrimage through German thought, we see a narrative cautioning against ideological seduction, encouraging instead a journey towards critical self-examination. In today's world, where ideologies pervade every public discourse, this lesson is timeless. It is a clarion call to embrace skepticism as a guiding star, illuminating our path toward enlightenment and personal growth. Let this reflection rest as we prepare to delve deeper into Cioran's philosophical labyrinth. In 1934, during a period when Romanian literature was experiencing a blossoming of intellectual exploration and artistic experimentation, the young Emil Cioran published his first book, On the Heights of Despair. At a mere 23, Cioran's work was a phenomenon of raw existential inquiry. This was a time when literature in Romania was not just a national expression, but a dialogue with the broader currents of international philosophy, offering a fresh voice grappling with age-old questions of human existence. Cioran's initial writings were a departure from the comforting illusions we seek in life. In On the Heights of Despair, we see an honest encounter with the naked truths of existence, a refusal to accept the comforting myths that often cloud human understanding. His work, a blend of poetry and prose, served as a personal catharsis. It demanded readers let go of their delusions and confront the unsettling but liberating awareness of life's inherent uncertainties. For Cioran, despair was not a conclusion but a starting point, a foundation from which one could question, explore, and begin anew. From this vantage of despair, Cioran encouraged introspection and skepticism. He posed a silent invitation to consider that perhaps it is in our moments of greatest doubt that we are closest to truth. Like the first crimson light of dawn after a long night, these insights hint at new beginnings, urging us to examine our lives with fresh eyes, no longer bound by simple certainties. We see how these early reflections still resonate today, urging us to face personal disillusionment not as an end, but as a threshold. In our modern world, beset by rapid change and complex challenges, Cioran's perspective provides a profound lesson. Facing our despair can be transformative, much like standing at the edge of a vast ocean, feeling the pull of the tides. By choosing to no longer fear the depths, we learn that each wave of uncertainty carries us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place within the world. And so, with Cioran's words resonating softly in our ears, we come to rest in the simple truth that our disillusionment may indeed be our greatest teacher, quietly guiding us towards profound personal growth. Let that thought settle gently as we prepare to journey further into Cioran's philosophical tapestry in the next segment. What if acknowledging life's inherent emptiness unveils deeper truths? Emil Cioran envisioned pessimism as a potent form of wisdom, one that dares to confront the abyss of existence. He urges us to look unblinkingly at life's futility, recognizing within it an invitation to seek deeper meanings. By accepting what seems unbearable, Cioran opens doors to a profound understanding, revealing that despair is not a destination, but a part of a more significant journey toward wisdom. To delve into Cioran's vision is to peel back the layers of societal optimism and face the naked truths of our existence. The acceptance of life's inherent emptiness becomes a mirror, reflecting the transient nature of our aspirations and fears. Cioran believed that by confronting these unsettling realities, we unearth a resilient form of clarity. Just as the night reveals new worlds through the telescope, Cioran's philosophy invites us to discover the hidden wisdom nestled within the shadows of our despair. Cioran's pessimistic framework gains particular relevance in today's world, where relentless positivity often masks underlying uncertainties. Consider how modern society echoes Cioran's insights through its relentless pursuit of happiness, sometimes at the expense of facing genuine emotions and vulnerabilities. The alignment between Cioran's acceptance of despair and the present-day reality of unexpected global uncertainties offers a fresh perspective on the value of embracing what pains or unsettles us. Just as life is transient, so are its darkest moments, which, in being acknowledged, can transform into unexpected sources of strength. Embracing Cioran's bleak vision, then, is not a surrender, but a courageous act of acceptance, a way to carry the heavy truths of existence lightly. As we let his insights resonate within us, we transform existential nihilism into empowering wisdom, marking the beginning of a new understanding. Pessimism, in its truest form, becomes a bridge to profound philosophical enlightenment, leaving us with a soft, enduring sense of peace. Cioran's exploration of failure unravels its inevitability and necessity in human life, much like an artist shaping form from chaos. Visualize the artist's brush gliding over a blank canvas, each stroke a mark of uncertainty that slowly unveils a masterpiece, a metaphor for how we shape our lives through an amalgamation of both triumphs and disappointments. It is within this chaos that Cioran finds clarity, suggesting that understanding and embracing failure leads to profound personal insights. Failure, as Cioran perceives it, is not to be feared or avoided, but rather seen as an integral aspect of the human condition. He posits this philosophical stance as a critique of modern ideals perpetuating perpetual success. By challenging these ideals, Cioran offers a refreshing lens through which we may view personal setbacks as opportunities for deeper understanding and growth. Our lives are pathways, the stones of which are sculpted from failures more so than successes. Reflecting upon Cioran's insights, we find resonance within our own day-to-day experiences. Consider the pressures that society places upon us, the silent demand for perfection and the relentless pursuit of success. In Cioran's view, embracing failure as a natural part of existence liberates us from these constructs, allowing us to live authentically without the stifling weight of societal expectation. In this embrace of failure, there is freedom, a freedom that demands we live not for the approval of others, but for the quiet, often overlooked contentment found within oneself. As we softly close this exploration, let us cherish the notion that through acceptance of our imperfections, we discover not only wisdom, but a serene peace that guides us gently onwards. Cioran often marveled at the profound tranquility found in silence and isolation, which he claimed were fundamental to accessing the depths of philosophical thought. Picture yourself in a secluded sanctuary, far from the clamor and chaos of the outside world. Here, silence becomes more than just the absence of sound. It transforms into a gentle symphony of inner peace, a space where the mind can stretch and roam untethered. In these moments of quietude, Cioran found that truth whispered, rather than shouted, gifting him moments of surprising clarity. He perceived solitude not as loneliness, but as a path to inner clarity and understanding. Consider solitude as a canvas, awaiting the brushstrokes of thought and contemplation. In this serene isolation lies the potential for profound self-discovery, much like an artist who finds inspiration not in the throngs, but in the stillness of their studio. History and philosophy offer us a parade of thinkers who, much like Cioran, discovered that stepping away from the masses allows for deeper dives into the mysteries of existence. For instance, the famed philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche often retreated into solitude, finding therein the crucible for his most impactful ideas. In modern high-noise environments, Valuing silence facilitates mindfulness and contemplation, crucial for intellectual advancement. Our contemporary world, bustling with ceaseless noise and distraction, often leaves little room for the quiet spaces where reflection flourishes. Yet, in embracing silence, we peel back the layers of our superficial engagements, opening ourselves to the deeper insights dwelling beneath. Isn't it intriguing how, in these moments of deliberate quiet, where technology and distractions are set aside, we find a more intimate dialogue with our own thoughts and emotions? Viewers are encouraged to carve out moments of silence in their lives to foster greater introspection and peace. Just as Cioran discovered tranquility in the silent sanctuaries of his mind, so too can you cultivate serene pockets in your day-to-day life. Let this gentle separation from noise serve as a bridge to inner calm, where the subconscious can speak softly, its messages unclouded by the din of everyday life. May you find that within the silence there is a world waiting, a world of insight and profound peace. Cioran's philosophical prose reveals an aesthetic admiration for decay, suggesting beauty lies not in permanence, but in life's fleeting nature. This philosophical view echoes the profound idea found in many ancient traditions, where impermanence is celebrated rather than feared. In Buddhism, for instance, impermanence or anicca reveals the transient and ever-changing nature of existence, a core element that teaches detachment from the material and opens paths to enlightenment. And so, we can gently turn our attention to how Eastern philosophies, like those of Buddhism and Hinduism, emphasize impermanence not as a lack, but a feature of life that invites us to embrace the flow and transformation inherent in all things. In this context, Cioran's reflections can be seen as an echo of Heraclitus's wisdom from ancient Greece. No man ever steps in the same river twice, a reminder of the constant flux in life. By aligning with this perspective, we begin to see each moment as unique, fleeting, and valuable. Let us consider further the aesthetic appreciation of this impermanence, as seen through the lens of Japanese wabi-sabi, a philosophy that finds beauty in the imperfect, the impermanent, and the incomplete. This approach invites us to take a contemplative look at decay and aging, not as decline, but as a part of life's inherent beauty and truth. The understanding of life's decay as beautiful challenges our cultural insistence on eternal youth and preservation, offering instead a profound peace with the cycles and rhythms of life. And so, by embracing impermanence, Cioran provides us with a counter-narrative to our society's obsession with perfection. Embracing life's transience allows us a space to explore creative and personal growth during transitional phases, turning what is often feared into an opportunity. As you reflect upon your own experiences, dear listener, consider not the permanence of what you achieve, but the moments of beauty found in the journey, the paths taken, and the changes embraced. With this understanding, let us find a gentle peace in the poetry of life's transience. What if our consciousness itself is a philosophical enigma? Cioran interrogated the nature of consciousness, prompting profound questions about self-awareness and existence. Just as a quiet ripple disturbs a still pond, consciousness stirs within us, inviting a deeper investigation into our own essence. Imagine consciousness as a stream, constantly flowing with thoughts and perceptions, spilling over with emotions and insights, an invisible river of awareness that courses through every moment of our lives. Cioran's exploration of consciousness was not merely abstract. It was a quest through which he attempted to decipher the complex riddle of self-awareness. Consciousness has been described as the awareness of awareness, a notion that can seem paradoxical. It is not merely the brain's activity, but a profound experience that intertwines with our perception of selfhood. An experience that has fascinated philosophers, theologians, and scientists alike for millennia. Take, for instance, the idea of consciousness as knowing that one knows, a reflective state where the mind becomes both observer and observed. This self-referential nature mirrors the eternal search for identity and the perpetual questioning of our very existence. Today, in an age where cognitive science attempts to unravel the mysteries of the mind, Cioran's musings remain startlingly relevant. As technology drives us closer to understanding the neural pathways of consciousness, Cioran invites us to pause and reflect upon what these revelations mean for our understanding of self. Reflecting on Cioran's inquiries, we confront the puzzle of consciousness, not only as a scientific quest, but as a personal journey. The deeper we delve, the more profound the riddle becomes. Each layer peeled away reveals anew the complexity of being, reminding us of the delicate dance between knowledge and mystery. And so, let us gently turn our attention inward, cultivating awareness of our own conscious experience. In the quiet moments, as thoughts drift like clouds across the sky of the mind, we ponder, what does it truly mean to be? In this reflection, guided by Cioran's existential examinations, we might find solace in the uncertainty, an acceptance of the profound mystery that is consciousness. As we conclude this part of our journey, let the enigma of consciousness rest within you, a gentle companion on the path of self-discovery. Cioran believed suffering was essential to achieving personal liberation, akin to the Buddhist concept of Satori or enlightenment. Consider, for a moment, the profound way suffering intertwines with our quest for meaning. Each experience of pain, each moment of hardship, holds within it a potential for revelation. In the shadow of suffering, we find the outlines of enlightenment, what the Zen practitioners call Satori. Cioran's view is indeed provocative, suggesting that life's pain is not merely something to endure but a teacher of sorts. This perspective beckons us to consider our struggles not as mere misfortunes, but as gateways to deeper understanding. Historically, philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche have echoed similar sentiments, positing that which does not kill us makes us stronger. It can't be mere coincidence that across different times and cultures, thinkers have recognized suffering as a cornerstone of personal evolution. And so, we can gently turn our attention to our own lives, where each challenge, be it a personal loss or a clash with existential dread, becomes a canvas for growth. It is here that Cioran's philosophy invites us to find not only acceptance in suffering, but perhaps a form of liberation, a Satori of sorts, where anguish transforms into insight. Let that thought rest, as we consider how this transformative tool can shape our path forward. In summary, Cioran encourages us to embrace suffering, not to wallow, but to transcend it, revealing the profound potential embedded within our adversities. It is this embrace that creates the foundation for liberation and personal growth. As we move forward, let us carry this insight gently, like a lantern lighting our way through the dim corridors of our own experiences. Cioran's works often highlight ironic juxtapositions, reflecting on harmony emerging from chaos and contradictions. Within the labyrinth of his thoughts lies a profound contemplation. How can chaos seed harmony? Imagine, if you will, the waves of an ocean, turbulent on the surface, yet maintaining a deep, consistent rhythm beneath. This is akin to how Cioran perceived life, filled with discord, yet forging a subtle symphony over time. Cioran's contemplations encourage seeing beyond surface tensions to uncover deeper truths within paradoxes. A principle that has echoed through history, manifesting in the philosophical pessimism articulated by thinkers like Hegesias of Cyrene and Arthur Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer's concept of will represents the underlying chaos of existence. And yet, even in this unrelenting force, there lies a truth, the potential to find harmony through acceptance. Let that resonate as we consider the diverse perspectives that inform our understanding. This philosophical approach aligns with handling complex life situations, where embracing contradiction allows for holistic understanding and solutions. In our modern world, where technology and global issues intertwine in complex ways, welcoming contradiction can lead to innovative problem-solving and growth, much like embracing both the light and shadow in a personal journey. Reflection on paradox can invite growth and acceptance in our daily lives. Navigating Cioran's irony inspires us to welcome diverse perspectives as a means to foster personal growth and acceptance. Embrace contradiction not as a threat, but as a pathway to wisdom. As we sail through the night, carry this thought gently with you. Within every disparity, a truth awaits your discovery. With each breath, allow this paradoxical harmony to cultivate peace and insight. In a world striving for absolute answers, Cioran championed doubt as an essential dialogue with the unknown. He welcomed uncertainty, not as a flaw of our reason, but as a gift, a profound engagement with the mysteries we can never entirely unravel. In this acceptance lies a freedom, the freedom to let go of the shackles of certainty and embrace a life rich with questions. Cioran's acceptance of uncertainty invites us to reconsider the nature of knowledge and understanding. Consider how quickly information flows today, each bit seeming to demand immediate belief, yet often evaporating just as swiftly into obsolescence. This is where Cioran's wisdom becomes particularly poignant. Knowledge should be a river, not a rock, a temporal stream that shifts and evolves rather than a static repository. One might say Cioran encourages a healthy skepticism, a careful cultivation of doubt that allows critical thinking to flourish. In our age of information overload, where truths conflict and narratives compete for dominance, doubting can become a vital skill. It fosters adaptability, a mental flexibility that is so crucial for navigating our complex realities. Imagine doubt not as an obstacle to be overcome, but as a dance with the unknown. Let us contemplate how Cioran's dialogue with doubt extends beyond his own time, reaching into our modern challenges. In conversations surrounding science, politics, even personal beliefs, this skepticism allows us to engage more deeply, to question where others might accept. And as we oscillate between certainty and inquiry, perhaps we find a more profound truth, not in the chanting of affirmations, but in the quiet space between thoughts. As we conclude this reflection, let Cioran's invitation to doubt not leave us suspended, but anchored in curiosity. For it is in wonder that we often find our most illustrious revelations. Perceiving disillusionment not as defeat, but as liberation, Cioran's philosophy challenges conventional wisdom by finding value in defying expectations. In the perpetual dance between hope and reality, disillusionment arrives not as an unsolicited guest, but as a liberating force that severs the chains of expectation. By doing so, it allows one to walk freely in the realm of the authentic and the unexpected. Often in life, we paint illusionary vistas with brushstrokes of idealism, only to find them eroded by the torrent of reality. Yet, this erosion unveils the rock beneath, the bedrock of genuine experience. Consider the historical lens of disillusionment found within the contours of Emma Goldman's reflections in her work, My Disillusionment in Russia, where she illustrates how her hopeful expectations of revolution transformed into the realization of oppressive mechanisms. In every generation, disillusionment serves a pivotal role. It acts not only as a critic, but as an invitation to reevaluation, inciting movements and reforms that redefine boundaries and broaden horizons. Society often fears becoming disillusioned, yet in embracing it, we unearth pathways that are otherwise obscured by the fog of unchallenged beliefs. And so, we can gently turn our attention to the creativity and renewal birthed by disillusionment. Within its embrace lies the poignant charm of reconsidering one's own trajectory amidst life's intricate web. To be disillusioned is to see with clearer eyes, an artist stripping away the surplus to reveal the raw canvas beneath, where new visions can emerge unencumbered by previous constraints. Let that thought rest as we consider how disillusionment, often viewed with trepidation, can be a generous teacher. It teaches us to laugh at our own grandiose plans and to cherish the unexpected twists and turns of life's path. As we let go of limiting preconceptions, we find freedom in surrendering, allowing for new beginnings imbued with authenticity and wisdom. And in the quiet that follows, may we find peace in embracing the unknown, seeking paths anew, liberated by the very ideas that once seemed to confine us. What if nihilism is not a void, but a powerful lens for clarity? Emil Cioran's engagement with nihilism invites us to consider this radical perspective. Nihilism, often perceived as a bleak acceptance of life's inherent meaninglessness, is reframed here as an opportunity, a tool for practical enlightenment. By stripping away illusions, Cioran allows us to attain purity in our understanding. Nihilism here isn't just an abandonment of belief, but a deliberate, thoughtful exercise in shedding false consoles and superficial anxieties. Imagine it as polishing a lens, a task requiring patient removal of residue until the light of reality shines through unfiltered and clear. This act of purification, of cleansing our perception, steers us away from distractions and towards genuine insights. Philosophically, this aligns with existential nihilism, which posits that life's higher purpose is denial. Yet, from within this framework of perceived void, Cioran identifies clarity, a visionary lucidity that exposes what truly matters. When used thoughtfully, nihilism can dismantle the remnants of societal and individual illusions and lend insight into our true desires and values. Picture modern life, a cacophony of doubt, obligation, and expectation. Amid this chaos, employing nihilism acts as a method of sorting through what is vital from what is merely noise. As we conclude this reflective journey, remember that through the lens of nihilism, clarity is attainable. It is more than an existential ending. It is a beginning, a methodology for existential inquiry to peacefully navigate the complexities of life. May this lens offer you enlightenment and guidance as you ponder your own path forward. Cioran's advocacy for philosophical solitude as a medium for self-reflection positions isolation as a conduit for personal inquiry and discovery. In an era saturated with constant connection, his message offers a path to clarity and self-awareness, resonating with our intrinsic need for mental well-being. Let us, then, consider the power found in brief retreats, guided by Cioran's solitary practices, as a means to nurture our inner lives and cultivate a reflective balance amidst the cacophony of the world. Emil Cioran's personal philosophy embraced solitude not as a withdrawal from the world, but as a space for engaging deeply with one's own thoughts and emotions. In solitude, Cioran found the quietude needed to confront the deeper existential inquiries that echoed throughout his writings. In the stillness, he explored the realms of suffering, existence, and the silence of the divine, recurring themes in his work. In modern life, the distractions of technology and media often obscure our internal dialogues. Yet Cioran's insights guide us to carve out intentional spaces for solitude, allowing for an unhurried meeting with our deeper selves. Imagine creating your own philosophical retreat, a simple yet profound act of disconnecting to reconnect. It is here, in chosen solitude, that one may find the elusive balance, reflecting on life's complexities without the interference of daily demands. Like a wise sage retreating to a mountain, these moments become the crucible where our thoughts can crystallize into clarity. Such retreats, however brief, remind us of the essential self-dialogue that modernity often drowns out. And so, as you consider Cioran's guidance on solitude, ponder its application in your own life. Envision moments of stillness acting as a mirror, revealing insights into both the personal and the universal. Embrace this solitude not as an escape, but as a homecoming to the self. As we conclude, let the thought rest gently with you, a call to integrate silence and personal reflection as a harmonious counterpoint to the societal chorus. Thus, by learning from Cioran, we find solitude not as isolation, but as a profound connection to our true essence. Cioran's insights into human anxiety mirror today's widespread existential concerns, highlighting his prophetic understanding of modern malaise. Reflect on how the rapid advancement in technology and constant societal changes contribute to a collective unease, a restlessness of spirit that seems to pervade our modern lives. As we navigate through an era marked by freedom and choice, we find ourselves paradoxically bound by an existential anxiety, a profound unease rooted, perhaps, in the very freedoms that define us. Cioran, in his melancholic wisdom, touches upon these themes, foreseeing a time when human discontent would echo noisily amidst these conveniences of existence. Let us now delve deeper into how these anxieties manifest in our modern frameworks. The existentialist movement, embraced by thinkers like Sartre and Camus, has long emphasized authenticity as an antidote to existential angst, a notion re-examined in modern psychology as individuals strive for genuine self-expression amidst societal expectations. In an ever-connected world, where one's identity can be both carefully curated and woefully criticized, the struggle for authenticity becomes a modern battleground, feeding the very anxiety that Cioran predicted. Cioran's dissection of the human condition deftly recognizes the discomfort underlying today's digital age, a discomfort that arises as we perpetually seek connection, yet find ourselves shouting into the void. And so, we can gently turn our attention to the question of how this shared modern anxiety is not merely an individual plight, but a collective experience. Cioran's philosophy offers a solace in acknowledging these shared anxieties, recognizing them not as isolated disasters, but as universal threads of the human experience. His work speaks to the solidarity found in suffering, suggesting that perhaps by embracing our fears and discontents, rather than fleeing them, we might find a quieter comfort amidst the chaotic cadence of today's world. In closing this serene reflection on Cioran and our modern existential dilemma, let us remember his gift of perspective, that the recognition of our shared human fears can be grounding in a rapidly shifting world. Cioran's timeless message encourages us to view our anxieties not as faults, but as part of the rich tapestry of existence, allowing us to find peace in collective understanding and to settle into the rhythm of life's inherent uncertainties. Let this thought gently guide you into silent contemplation as we prepare for the next chapter of our philosophical journey. Cioran's critique of materialism accents current cultural narratives, portraying consumption as obscuring profound existential reflection. Imagine the ceaseless pursuit of possessions akin to a fog that envelops and obscures the horizon, making it difficult to perceive deeper truths beyond the immediate and tangible. In this metaphorical fog, Cioran urges us to confront our blindness, to see the artifice for what it is, the distraction from deeper fulfillment and self-discovery. Let us delve deeper into Cioran's philosophical stance, which calls for modern society to transcend these superficial gains. He invites us to question the relentless march toward material wealth, a march that, as he suggests, may be leading us away from the very essence of our being. We can look to historical movements and philosophies that have similarly critiqued materialism, such as the Stoics, who valued inner virtue over external possessions. Cioran's insights resonate with a call to rediscover a balance, a harmony where our sense of worth is derived not from what we own, but from the depth of our inner life and experiences. And so, we can gently turn our attention to the practical application of Cioran's teachings in contemporary life. Consider the modern phenomena of digital consumption, endless scrolling through feeds, and the allure of the latest gadgets. Cioran's critique would see this as the essence of a culture obsessed with distraction, fleeing from the silent contemplation of our own thoughts. He implores us to put down the devices, if only for a moment, and to face the quietude within. In summary, embracing Cioran's perspective allows us to reframe contemporary material desires, enabling us to pursue a life enriched by introspection and authentic experience. It is through such reflection that we may find ourselves guided not by what is sold to us, but by what our souls genuinely yearn for. As we conclude this reflection, let the thoughts settle and guide your mind towards peace, a peace that whispers the ancient wisdom, know thyself. What if embracing despair offers enlightenment in today's chaotic landscapes? This question opens the door to the world of Emil Cioran, a philosopher who has walked hand in hand with the shadows of existence. He understood despair not as a pit to fall into, but as a powerful lens through which we might find clarity amidst life's confounding complexity. Cioran's worldview seems remarkably prescient, showing an almost prophetic awareness of the philosophical crises that modern thinkers grapple with today, where identity and purpose often blur into ambiguity. Understanding his approach allows us to transform despair from a paralyzing force into a companion on our journey toward deeper, more enlightened comprehension. Now, let's gently explore the idea of enlightened despair. It is more than mere resignation. Instead, it presents itself as a strategic guide for navigating existential challenges. In our contemporary context, where existential crises, affecting teenagers to seniors, regularly surface, Cioran's perspective is incredibly relevant. According to philosophical examinations of existential crises, individuals often face inner conflicts characterized by feelings of meaninglessness and desolation, as understood through existentialist thought. Cioran invites us to see these crises not as stumbling blocks, but as transformations, potential gateways to personal evolution. From the heights of despair, Cioran did not see a world devoid of meaning, but one ripe with potential for profound personal insight. Imagine despair not as a fog obscuring our path, but rather as a clearing where the storm exposes new realities. In this clearing, identity and purpose can be reconstructed anew, free from prior illusions and superficiality. Contemporary issues of identity crises and the relentless pursuit of authenticity find echoes in Cioran's acknowledgement that facing despair allows for genuine introspection and rebirth. By accepting this uncomfortable space, we might achieve a deeper, more authentic understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Thus, enlightened despair becomes an invitation, asking us to engage with the chaos of our times not with a heart burdened by hopelessness, but with a spirit ready to learn and evolve. It is a poignant acceptance of life's uncertainty, offering a profound lens to interpret the existential puzzles of identity and meaning that we encounter today. As we draw this reflection to a close, let's remember Cioran not just as a philosopher of pessimism, but as a guide into the thoughtful embrace of despair, a transformative force that, when understood, can illuminate a path through our darkest thoughts. Let this awareness rest gently with you, as a beacon for navigating both the serene and stormy nights of contemplation. Cioran's nihilistic ideas maintain enduring influence over successive generations, grappling with the absence of inherent meaning. His philosophy stands as a testament to understanding human life's seeming contradictions and embracing personal authenticity amid vast chaos. Through Cioran's lens, we have a doorway to explore the existential quandaries of existence. Love and loss, meaning and void, all interwoven in a tapestry of profound introspection. The undercurrent of nihilism in his work invites us to consider a life not bound by preordained meanings, but enriched by personal discovery and existential authenticity. Let us reflect on how Cioran's musings reverberate through today's cultural psyche. He presents us with a framework that champions resilience in the face of nothingness. By recognizing the void, we find a peculiar liberty, a philosophical space where one can create meaning, rather than succumb to despair. In embracing the absence of inherent purpose, many find the freedom to fashion lives of intentionality and deeper significance. This aspect of nihilistic thought aligns with the struggles and the existential freedom within contemporary culture. Pause for a moment and imagine the world as a blank canvas, a space of boundless potential rather than a bare desert. Cioran's philosophy invites us to grapple with the immense canvas of life, fully aware of its emptiness, yet free to make it vibrant with our own brush strokes. This metaphoric transformation is as much about empowerment as it is about understanding, offering an avenue to pursue authenticity amid external chaos. Cioran's thought becomes a sanctuary, a refuge, where one's existential battles cultivate a garden of resilience. As we draw closer to the end of our contemplative journey tonight, we see that Cioran's nihilism does not merely echo despair, but carves a path towards intellectual clarity and personal empowerment. In the vastness of chaos, we are invited to be architects of our narratives, to find empowerment where others see only void. Let this thought rest within you, weaving together the seen and unseen threads of existence. And with gentle reflection, may you find peace in this silent resonance. Cioran articulates solitude as a vital strategy to reach inner peace, emphasizing reflective seclusion as unlocking serene understanding. Imagine solitude not as the absence of others, but as a profound dialogue with the self. Therein lies the potential for a tranquil understanding of existence itself. Consider how in our modern, bustling lives, we often perceive solitude as an unwelcome guest, something to be avoided or merely endured. Cioran invites us to flip this perception on its head. By welcoming solitude as a friend, we engage in a transformative conversation that transcends mere isolation. Solitude becomes a landscape of inner peace and reconciliation. Let us gently turn our attention to the bustling world outside, our hectic schedules and endless distractions. What if instead we carved out spaces of intentional seclusion, as Cioran suggests? Much like a sculptor chipping away at stone to reveal a hidden figure, solitude helps reveal the contours of our deepest thoughts and emotions, offering clarity amid chaos. In these moments of quiet reflection, the mind settles into a state of serene contemplation. To reconcile with solitude is to listen to the whispers of our ego, to find that inner voice of calm and assurance. Embrace solitude not as an adversary, but as the wise say, guiding you to inner peace. Let this understanding envelop you as we integrate solitude into the cadence of our daily lives. As night gives way to the gentle dawn, let this thought cradle your journey into peace. Cioran's philosophy extends life lessons from the absurd, encouraging acceptance of paradoxical truths as enlightening frameworks. Imagine, if you will, standing before a labyrinth of contradictions, where each twist and turn offers a new perspective, yet leads you back to the very same place. This is the essence of Cioran's invitation, to dance with paradox, to let go of the need for linear, binary resolutions, and to find comfort in the chaos of opposites. Absurdity, as Cioran unveils, is not a barrier but a pathway to insight, to creativity, to liberation. It is the absurd that awakens, challenging us to see beyond the mundane fabric of everyday patterns. Consider how, in modern life, we often find ourselves entangled in demands for clarity and direction, be it in personal identity, societal roles, or global conflicts. Cioran proposes an alternative path. Accept the dance of life's contradictions, and observe how peace arises from this acceptance. We can look to Schopenhauer for a historical lens, as he unveils a similar pessimism that views life's turmoil as inherent, yet strangely beautiful. Cioran builds on these ideas with an elegance that is distinctly his own, prompting us to see beauty in the absurd rather than despair. This does not mean resignation, but rather an embracing of life's unpredictable rhythms, turning them into a symphony rather than cacophony. Cioran teaches us that these paradoxes are not to be resolved, but rather lived with, granting a sense of empowerment through their embrace. And so, we see that life, with its inherent contradictions, offers more than mere inconvenience. It provides a canvas for a richer, more nuanced existence. Allow these paradoxes to inspire balance and wisdom, as Cioran gently guides us through the complex tapestry of existence, where the absurd becomes a trusted companion rather than an adversary. In this understanding, tranquility blossoms from within, urging us to walk softly in this unpredictable world. Contrary to initial impressions, Cioran's final philosophical affirmations offer hope and clarity, providing tools for enlightened living through pessimism. Emil Cioran, often veiled in the shadows of despair, unexpectedly guides us towards a light, a hope framed not in naive optimism, but in the profound acceptance of life's darker facets. This transition from understanding Cioran solely as a pessimist to appreciating him as a guide to enlightened living marks a significant transformation, inviting us to consider the possibility of growth from within the embrace of life's inevitable challenges. Let us explore how his philosophy transitions from despair to empowerment. Cioran's philosophy is deeply embedded in the dialectical method, a fascinating process originally noted in ancient philosophy that seeks truth through reasoned argument and counterargument. By immersing himself in the dialogue of suffering and existential contemplation, Cioran navigates through contradictions to emerge with a synthesis, a final affirmation that transforms negative experiences into enlightening insights. Just as the dialectic in Hegelian terms involves overcoming internal contradictions, Cioran invites us to see our internal struggles not as endpoints, but as opportunities for personal revelation and empowerment. Consider the modern world, where the endeavor to avoid discomfort often leads us into deeper chaos. Through Cioran's lens, we learn that embracing the inconvenience of existence, our fears, our despairs, can illuminate paths to resilience and deeper contentment. It is not about banishing darkness, but rather about walking with it, recognizing its gift in awakening us to reality's more profound truths. This transforms our struggles into allies, influencing how we live, relate, and find peace even amidst chaos. As we synthesize these thoughts, let us gently conclude this segment by remembering that Cioran's revelations challenge us to forge strength from our shadows. His approach reshapes pessimism into a philosophical wisdom that empowers rather than weakens, encouraging us to engage with life in all its paradoxical beauty and complexity. As we carry these affirming insights forward, May we find comfort in knowing that our deepest contemplations can indeed lead us to a more meaningful and empowered existence, gently resonating through the silence that follows. Cioran poses gently unsettling questions, urging deep introspection and personal growth through philosophical inquiry. He acknowledges the discomfort in confronting aspects of our existence typically left unexamined. These questions are seldom easy, for they invite a profound unsettlement, much like the ripples on a tranquil pond when a stone is cast. Yet in this agitation, Cioran sees the potential for clarity. As we embrace these unsettling questions, let us consider the nature of a life lived without such inquiry. How might we grow if we shy away from the very thoughts that challenge our fundamental beliefs about the world and ourselves? Cioran asks us to wrestle with these unresolved puzzles, not to be overwhelmed by them, but to gently engage in a dialogue that fuels growth and transformation. And so, we can gently turn our attention to the idea of uncertainty as a vital component of personal evolution. Cioran's philosophy suggests that by engaging with life's uncertainties, individuals open themselves to transformative possibilities, fostering a state of perpetual curiosity. Imagine life as a vast, uncharted territory where the known paths only provide a fraction of what truly exists. In stepping off these beaten tracks, in questioning the very ground beneath us, we find room for new insights and deeper understanding. Let that thought rest, as we consider the role of questions in fostering an inquisitive mindset. Cioran encourages us to adopt questions as windows into the unknown, each one a lens through which we might see the layers of our existence differently. Through this engagement, questions evolve into companions on our journey, guiding and shaping our path. Imagine these questions as silent companions on a nighttime walk, words unspoken yet deeply understood, promoting a harmonizing introspection. By doing so, we align ourselves with the dynamic rhythm of life, a dance between certainty and doubt. In conclusion, Cioran invites us to see these unsettling questions not as barriers, but as gateways to curiosity and personal growth. They are gentle nudges towards a more profound understanding of ourselves and the world, transforming discomfort into a catalyst for change. As we ponder these questions, let us find peace in being part of a vast, shared human experience of seeking, questioning, and ultimately growing. Let these reflections linger softly like the fading echoes of a gentle melody, resonating within, gently preparing our minds for the next revelation. Cioran's concluding message is one of finding peace amid chaos. Imagine, if you will, stepping into a garden where the vibrant disorder of nature unfolds around you. Trees sway with the winds and bird songs interlace with rustling leaves. Here, nature's chaos holds a profound, underlying order. Similarly, Cioran encourages us to see tranquility as not despite the chaos, but as intrinsic to it. To embrace discord, Cioran suggests, is to honor the fullness of life in its tangled, contradictory beauty. Think of life as a river, forever flowing and shifting, sometimes turbulent, sometimes serene. Rather than resisting life's inevitable rapids, he invites us to become like water, fluid, adaptive, carrying forward in a world that seldom pauses for order. And so, we can gently turn our attention to the dance between order and disorder, recognizing that in this dance lies the potential for resilience. Cioran's legacy reminds us that true equanimity is forged not in avoidance, but in courageous acceptance of life's apparent chaos. By cultivating inner resilience, we, as observers and participants, learn the art of living, unperturbed amid life's relentless currents. Let that thought rest as we consider the wisdom of finding peace not in serene absence of chaos, but in harmonious accord with it. This acceptance transforms potential turmoil into an enduring, quiet strength. Thus, in Cioran's view, the ultimate legacy is an inward peace that mirrors the vast, forgiving sky, adorning the unceasing tumult of life below. As we draw this journey to a close, may his insights light your path, offering gentle assurance that within each storm, tranquility patiently awaits your recognition.